AI systems often fail at the edges: empty inputs, max length, weird Unicode, and schema corners. Boundary tests make those failures routine discoveries. This AiQualtest episode gives product, engineering, risk, and quality teams a practical, vendor-neutral playbook for boundary testing AI outputs in 2026. Use a simple operating loop: limit, format, edge, and clamp. That loop keeps conversations concrete when stakeholders disagree about quality or risk. Why this matters: production traffic is messy. Boundary testing reduces brittle integrations and surprising refusals. Enterprises need predictable output contracts for downstream systems and humans. Enterprises shipping AI into banking, insurance, healthcare, and digital operations cannot rely on hallway demos. Buyers, auditors, and internal second-line risk partners ask for repeatable methods, version artifacts, and clear ownership. If you cannot explain how you tested and what evidence you keep, you do not have AI quality, you have optimism. Core concepts come next. Do not memorize jargon, operationalize each idea into cases, metrics, and gates. Concept 1: Input Extrema. Test empty, tiny, huge, and near-limit prompts. Include multilingual and special characters. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 2: Output Contracts. Validate JSON schemas, field ranges, and enum sets. Reject or repair violations. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 3: Length and latency. Probe responses near token and time budgets. Degrade gracefully instead of hanging. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 4: Numeric indate edges. Check leap days, time zones, currency rounding, and unit conversions where relevant. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 5: Clamp strategies. Decide whether to truncate, refuse, or escalate at boundaries. Document the behavior. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 6: Downstream safety. Ensure out-of-bound outputs cannot corrupt CRM, EHR, or payment systems. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Here is a real-world pattern. Setting: clinical trial operations tool generating structured visit summaries into an EDC system. Boundary tests with oversized notes produced invalid JSON that crashed an importer overnight. Teams added schema validation and clamp to refuse behavior with clear operator messages. A leap day visit date case also failed and was fixed. The EDC integration became a hard gate with boundary packs in CI. Notice the pattern: define scope, run controlled tests, capture evidence, decide with named owners, and feed failures back into the next cycle. That is how AI quality becomes a system property, not a slide. Common mistakes slow mature programs. Mistake 1: only testing typical midsize happy path inputs. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 2: assuming the model always returns valid JSON. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 3: letting oversized outputs hit production importers unchecked. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 4: leaving boundary behavior undocumented for operators. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. The antidote is discipline: small goal sets, explicit thresholds, change control, and monitoring that connects production incidents back to evaluation suites. Key takeaways for your team. Takeaway 1: systematically probe input and output extrema. Takeaway 2: enforce output contracts before downstream rights. Takeaway 3: define clamp, refuse, or escalate policies. Takeaway 4: automate boundary packs in CI. Write these into your team wiki and release checklist so they survive staffing changes. Your next steps this week: list your output schema and length limits, write cases for each edge. Then, add a validator that blocks invalid structured outputs from reaching production systems. Keep the artifacts, prompts, datasets, scores, approvals so you can defend the decision later. Where this fits the AiQualtest method, learn the foundations with AiVELabs, practice with hands-on cases, and validate with governed evaluation evidence. Visit aiqualtest.com and learn.aiqualtest.com. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for weekly AI quality, evaluation, and governance episodes. Additional depth for practitioners: treat boundary testing AI outputs as a controlled experiment. Version the inputs, freeze the environment where possible, record who approved exceptions, and rerun after every material change, model upgrade, prompt edit, retrieval index refresh, or tool permission change. Pair quality metrics with latency, cost, and safety signals so trade-offs are visible to product owners. When results regress, open an incident-style review even if the feature still looks fine in a demo. Governed teams prefer boring, evidence-backed releases over surprising wins that cannot be reproduced.